Good afternoon. So we're out here in Orchard right now. I'm out here with Alex and Ellie. Right, Ellie?
Yeah.
You guys are out here helping Dad today?
Yep.
What have we been doing?
Planting the trees and filling them in.
Yep, we've been filling them in. What is your job? What were you doing?
I was getting the grass union.
Yep, we were making sure that was about a hand above the ground.
Yeah.
Yep. So all these apple trees here, these are full dwarf apple trees, which mean they got to be on a trellis system. They got to be supported with posts and wires. We'll end up putting wires through these, 5 wires up. Every 30 foot we'll have 5-inch, 12-foot treated posts, and then every tree will have a bamboo attached to the wire, and then we will tie the tree to the bamboo. So that's how we support these trees. These in the previous videos I've done, which I don't think I put on YouTube, but I'll eventually get there, I showed that the size of the root balls on these trees is only about the size of a 5-gallon bucket at tops. It's very small, and these trees produce a lot of fruit. So you got to support these trees, but I thought I'd take an opportunity to show you guys how to trim these trees. It won't be completely the same as doing semi-dwarf trees, which most people will have, but a lot of the same basics will apply. So a few tools you want. You want a good set of loppers. These can go up to a couple inch branch, probably 1.5 inches is probably where you want to stop with these things. You can really push it if you want to. I have a couple pair of hand pruners. I have this little pair that is anvil style, so the top blade goes directly onto a flat surface. These cut really, really easy. So I really like these things because they're really easy on my hands, and it can get very challenging in your hands. Then I keep a second set of hand pruners. These things slide right over top, so can cut a little bit bigger branches, and I can get really close. With that blade coming in flush with the other side, I can get really close if I got to make a tight cut in there. But harder on my hands, so I keep these with me usually. And then a saw. You need a good saw. I use mostly Felco instruments. No real loyal to them necessarily, I guess. They've just worked well for me. So saws can go up to, I can cut probably a 4 or 5 inch trunk out of this, which I never see on these types of trees, unless it's cutting the whole tree down. But these make a really nice clean cut versus the loppers. So I really like these most of the time, but I'll use these too. So those are my tools I go with. And so we're just going to come here. These are my transplanted apple trees. So I'm going to trim these things up substantially harder than I would normally do. But we'll go over some basics of normal fruit tree trimming that you want to do, and then we'll go over to our peaches and we'll trim those. It's a little early to be trimming fruit trees, but because these are transplants, I want to trim them heavy before they start to grow, give the roots the best chance to survive this year, and then I'll go do a couple peach trees just to kind of show you how to do those, or maybe a peach tree. Those are quite a bit different, but those are all semi-dwarf, so anybody's got a peach tree. I would recommend though, if you are looking to get I don't know, 10, 20, 100 apple trees. Full dwarf trees are pretty neat. There's a learning curve to it, but I think it can be very beneficial because it's really easy to maintain. It's very easy to pick, and then you can get them really tight spaces. So you can plant these things between 2 and 4 feet apart. I try to go more 3 to 4 feet. Some of these are a little further apart because they're a little bigger, and it was hard to get them closer together before they're trimmed up. But new plantings, I'm usually 3 to 4 feet apart. Back up a little, Al. Alex is getting a little crazy on me here. And then peaches, you really want to wait until spring is starting to come. They're warming up a little bit. You're going to have better luck with trimming them then. But I'll go trim some up because I know most people. I'm in Michigan and it's March 24th, so most people will be trimming peach trees soon. Some people down south probably already are trimming peach trees. So I'll get that out anyway. So we'll start here. Basics of pruning, just any tree, right? Anything growing up or in, get rid of, right? We don't want any of that stuff. This guy is kind of goofy. That's kind of going up. I don't like that. These guys are going up and in. Don't like that. This guy's going in. This guy's going in. And then I'll do a couple different cuts. If I want it flush, I don't want to go back, I'll cut it flush. If I don't, I'll take the collar. I'll leave the collar there and I'll cut it on a 45-degree angle so a bud will come back off there. So again, I'm trimming these things up a lot heavier than you normally would. All right, you got that? Thank you. So these loppers aren't the best loppers in the world. Let's see here, what do I want to do here? I don't know what I want to do exactly here. Let's get rid of that. This is kind of growing in, which I don't really like for these trees. These trees, semi-dwarfs, I try to get everything to go in line with the row or 45-degree angle. I don't like things growing straight out. So this thing, I'll try to train that back this way a little bit. But if it was longer, it was going straight out, I'd probably cut it. But I'm going to cut a lot of stuff off that I normally wouldn't do. Again, because I really want these roots to have a chance to survive. Let's see how hard that is. So what we're going to do is be a little more aggressive than normal. Sorry, Elizabeth. That's going straight up. We don't like that. Get rid of that. That thing's kind of below and going in. So get rid of that. This thing, I'll take a look at that in a second. Also, these dwarf trees, we don't want we grow up one main leader, and we don't want the lateral branches, which is these branches right here. We don't want them to be more than half the diameter of the leader. So this guy up here is getting pretty close to half, if not bigger. So we'll get rid of that. Hold that. So here, this was the previous orchard it came from. This would have been about the height of his top wire was Charles. Ours is going to be like 9 feet tall. So I'm hoping that when this warms up a little bit, I can straighten that out. So I think I can do that. So I'm going to trim off some of this stuff up here. Look at that. So anytime you do this, you get rid of anything damaged, anything dead. So that's one thing you can do. So I never come out into my orchard. I never go out in my Christmas tree field without a pair of hand pruners on me. If something's damaged, something's dead, year round, I'm going to trim it off. Some of my Christmas trees, if I have a weird leader or something growing, I'll take care of it right then and there. I don't want that thing growing all year round, taking energy from the rest of my tree. So again, I'm getting pretty aggressive with these trees right now. That's damaged. It's going up. That's kind of big. I don't want that much energy being taken away. That's damaged. And come back here, we'll put a 45-inch right out there. So let's see here. That either size is one here. This guy up here is going up. Again, when I pick that up, this is kind of big. This is probably going to try to take off as a trying to fight with my main leader, so I'll get rid of that. And just kind of go down, get rid of that guy. So that's it. This is what we're doing. We got this whole row to do. We're going to come back. If Alex focuses in down here, you can see that's our graft union right there. You want it about a hand width above the ground, which that's pretty good. But you can see how wobbly these trees are. So we're going to have to get in here. We're going to have to trellis it up. But we're going to finish up this row. But before that, we'll walk over to our peaches, and I'll show you how to train some peach trees real quick. So we will we'll walk over there real quick. So we're back over here to the peaches. Just left you over to the apples. It's a little bit of walk, so we decided we'd pause this video. So basics of peach trees. These are peach trees. Peach trees, you do an open vase system versus apple trees, you do a central leader with lateral branches. Open vase system means we have our main leader coming up and 30 to 40 inches high. What we want to do is we want to have a few branches. This one's got 4, so this is probably not the greatest example of one. Really, this branch probably should have been taken off, but really a few of these should have, but not the best, but it's acceptable, right? So what you really want usually is 2 to 3 branches around here. So we should have 1, 2, and what you don't want is you want your first branch a hand width away. So that one and this one really probably should have been taken out, but we'll make them work. So from here, what we want is open vase. So again, same concepts, use the same tools. I'll use more hand pruners for this one. The red stuff is our going into our second year growth. This is the stuff that produces fruit. So peaches only fruit on the second year wood. So you'll never get peaches off of this stuff. After this year, you'll never get peaches on this again. So this is the part that's very difficult. It hurts sometimes as you sit here and cut this thing off. But as I'm talking to you guys, I'm kind of looking at this thing. We want to keep pushing this thing out. So I'm going to start off with a big cut. And this is going to make some people cringe, and it's not really even necessary, but I have 2 branches right here, they're pretty close together, I'm not so sure I like this one because this one's over here too, and because it's pretty well established, I'm going to leave it. So I'm actually going to cut this whole branch out here. Done, right? So that's probably one of the few big cuts we'll do. And then from here, anything that's facing up or in, right, we get rid of. So all this stuff we're going to get rid of.
Well, the red
right
stuff.
here, we're going to try to work our way down to this. So we want to kind of keep pushing out. Again, you wouldn't really be trimming this time of the year. If you see that right there, dead stuff right there, somebody's going to want to try to cut that off. But what we'll do is we'll wait till it actually buds out some, maybe get an inch of growth and find out where our good bud would be. So, you know, maybe this takes off real good. Maybe this little fruit bud takes off real good that way and we trim it right there. So we'll see where that is later. But anyway, so really want to go in. This guy right here, you know, it's covering things up here, right? So really, do I want to get rid of this or do I want to get rid of this? I don't need both these here because this is going to shade this. So because we want it to go up, back up a little, so they can see, back up a little more. So because we want a vase, we really want to start forcing this tree out so a lot of light can get in. I'm going to look at this and say, well, this is already angled out pretty good. So I'm going to get rid of this one. Because I kind of like that angle, right? Not opposed to that angle at all. That's kind of shadowing that one right there. Not hating any of that stuff. Come over to this guy. Get anything in. And you can't spend all day long doing this, right? You just kind of got to get in here and get it done. This stuff's too close. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And I'm trying to get rid of anything going in. This guy, and you know, I tried to look at this stuff ahead of time. Like really, I don't even like this whole thing right here. I think I'd rather, you know, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna make some of you guys cringe again. We're gonna get rid of this whole branch. One that probably shouldn't have ever been there in the first place. The reason why I'm getting rid of it is it's shadowing this branch right here. So I get rid of that branch. Now my tree you can start seeing a little bit more of a vase here. So anything in, right? We're gonna get rid of all this stuff. Who needs this stuff, right? Just throw it at Alex. Alex isn't even facing me. Come on, Alex, over here. What are you looking at?
You.
Alex is getting distracted. My videographer son over here, 9-year-old, doing pretty good for a 9-year-old, but back up so they can see. Yep, come over here, Liz. This one, probably gonna be taken out, but for this year, it's probably fine, right? A lot of sun coming through that. This stuff's pretty good. Probably want to do this. We'll get rid of this guy. That's going to become a problem down the road because right between these anyway. Take that out. This is where I said it's cringeworthy, right? That goes across. Oh, what do we got? A lot of shadow in here. Who are you waving away? Her? She's fine. She's not doing anything. They're watching the tree, not her anyway. She's cute, but you're focusing over here anyway. So right here, I got some shadowing going on. You see this branch is over top, this branch is over top, this branch. So I got to make a decision. What do? I think if I get rid of this top branch, like so, now none of this stuff's shadowed, right? That's kind of growing up. Get rid of that, get rid of that. This guy's kind of doing something goofy. This one, probably gonna be shadowed. We'll get rid of that. So now you can see everything's kind of growing up and out. This tree, I need to get out, so I'll start working on this going out. Now I'm back down to 1, 2, 3. Again, this isn't perfect, but it's close. If we come over to this next tree over here, this one's set up a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, right? About knee high. You could go up to the thigh. 30 to 40 inches is kind of what we're looking at. So again, we're going to make our quick cuts, quick and easy cuts, anything up or in, and then crossing. A lot going on here. This guy's kind of shadowed out, so we'll get rid of him. These little pruners don't like this bigger stuff. That's why I keep my other pruners on me too. And by all means, there's different ways of doing this. I'm not saying I'm doing everything right by any means, but this is the general consensus of what you do here. We're gonna kind of get rid of that. It's shadowing it. All this stuff you see kind of growing up and in, right? We don't want it. Actually, we'll just get rid of that whole thing there. Now we're pushing out a little bit, right? I don't want to do this. Is kind of getting shadowed here. So what do I want to do here, right? Do I want to get rid of this branch because it's being shadowed by these branches, or get rid of these branches. I don't know what I want to do. I mean, it's starting to grow out pretty good. This is really tipping out more too. So I think what I'll do for this year, I'll just leave this one. I'll probably get rid of this branch next year as this keeps pushing out. But for this year, I think that's probably fine. I do guess I need to trim up some of this stuff. But I'm going to try to get some fruit on it. Maybe next year I'll change my mind, right? Like, you don't have to do everything right away. You guys are going down. This is going that one. Get rid of that guy. Oh, let's see here. What do we got going on over here now? This is kind of going across that one over there. This, again, it's a hand away, so I'm okay with that. I'm also okay with this one. Which one do I like better? I don't know. We'll go with this one. That one's kind of going in. A few more branches coming in. That's shadowed, right? Get rid of all this stuff, right, Al? Oh, what do we want to do here? Let's force this tree out some, right? See, I'm forcing that tree out. That's kind of shadowing it. Alex is looking at stuff I'm throwing at the ground. I'm not sure why. 9-year-olds. Nobody else has a 9-year-old out there that gets distracted, do they? My 9-year-old doesn't ever get distracted, do you, Alex?
He does.
He doesn't want to say anything right now.
He's just very annoyed.
He's being shy. He's not annoyed. Let's see here. What's going up? So perfect? No, not even close to being perfect. You know, obviously we have shadowing over here we discussed. Probably could really get away with getting rid of one of these things. We have some more shadowing going on here. You know, we really want to have good light penetration. And there's a lot of fruit here. All these little things are fruit buds. These things are lined with fruit buds. And this has got hundreds of peaches on this tree right now. And this tree can't handle this many peaches. So trimming this thing up isn't going to hurt this tree at all. Like, we'll end up with more fruit than we'll know what to do on this tree. So don't be afraid to get aggressive with your cutting. The trees will grow back. Like I said, all this red stuff you saw on this tree before we started, that was all growth just from last year. Just this red stuff, that's the only thing. This is last year's growth, only thing that's going to produce fruit. So this bark, this is not going to ever produce fruit. Never again. So it did its fruit production. We're using this as our scaffold to kind of build this off. You can see how open it is in the middle now. Sun can get through here. We can get real good flow of air so that we won't end up with any, you know, hopefully any funguses and stuff growing here. Let our trees dry out. But yeah, that's trimming peaches. Same for everything. I'm not going to do any more. It's really not peach trimming time. This is dead. Get rid of that, right? It's grown in. I mean, you can sit here all day long, but you know, when you have an orchard of peaches, you can't stand here all day long. And we all have things to do. So look at the tree, make a decision, go with it, trust your gut and just do it. Had a friend out here a week ago showing him how to trim some of his peach trees, and his peach trees were 7 feet tall, 8 feet tall. He sent me some pictures and I told him, get them down, cut them down. If you have a few branches down low, even if you're stuck with, you know, 2 or 3 branches a foot long, cut it down. Peaches grow really fast. They're very vigorous. They'll grow quick. This is going into their 3rd growing season. So when I bought these trees, they were no bigger than this at the base, and they were about 6 feet tall. I cut them down. This is all new growth over the course of 3 years. So they grow really, really fast. So don't be shy trimming up your peach trees. Just do what you have to do to get them trimmed up, keep them under control. If you don't keep them under control, then you're going to end up with, you know, bigger problems down the road. You know, you end up with so much fruit they'll crack and split, all kinds of issues. We got some tree guards down here. I'm not sure if you can see it. That's for rabbits and mice. I think these are probably outgrown rabbits and mice now, so we'll probably paint some latex paint on here this year to prevent the trunks from splitting in the spring and winter time. So we'll probably move to that this year, so we get everything trimmed up and everything, you know, painted up. So hopefully we protect these things. We're hoping for a real good peach crop this year, but Mother Nature, right? Peaches are tough in Michigan, so but we do have some pretty hardy trees. So that's our apple and peach trimming. Again, our apples are full dwarf apple trees. Not everything I did will really go with what you want to do, but again, dead or damaged, get rid of it any time of the year. Well, Owen and I were just trimming some apple trees. We thought we'd put in a time-lapse video because we just spent, how long did we spend out there, Owen, trimming?
2 hours.
Spent 2 hours out there trimming trees, and we got what? Third of a row done?
Yep.
So a third of a row, that's 50 trees. We planted 1,200 trees, so 2 hours to do 50 trees. It's a long time, so we're tired because it's a lot of work. So we're gonna walk over and take a look at our cherry trees because Owen thought we killed all of our cherry trees last year. So I want to show him how awesome they look because I was actually looking at them 2 days ago when we were trimming up some peach trees. So I figured we'd come take a walk. It's a nice day out today though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 60 degrees out, 55. I mean, at least it feels that way. Maybe it's because we're working so hard. Usually they're hardly working, but today we're working hard. So our little makeshift deer fence here worked. Deer didn't get to our apples, didn't get to our peaches, didn't get to our cherries, but the thing that stinks is deer really like those leaves when the cherries and apples start budding out, so I'm concerned that it won't work for that. We're gonna climb under our fence.
Fence breaks.
Sorry, Owen will fix it later. So here's our cherry trees. Got to fix some of them. Doesn't look like much. But you look here, these are all nice buds. What do you think, Owen? Lot more alive than you thought, aren't they? Well, half that's dead, but even right here. This looks bad. Look right here. It's a nice bud right there. So that tree is very much alive. And all these things are going to bud out. And we keep deer off of them. It is great. That pokey bush, Owen? Owen just shoved his hands into that thing. Look at those gnarly things.
Ow.
See if I can get out the sun so you can actually see. Oh yeah. Owen just tried to rip that thing out. Ouch. How far did that thing go in? Or how many? This one's not looking as good, but there's still buds on it that are alive. I keep going right in the sun. Maybe I should switch sides. There, that's probably helpful. So this is not good up here. You come down here, there's still, you can't really see right there. Let's see if I can get a little closer to focus in or not. Right there. Nope, it's not focusing. But it's still fine. So a lot of these look good. I mean, well, these are nice buds right through here. I wonder how they look over here. Yeah, look at all these nice things. There we go. You can kind of see them now. So our cherries didn't do great last year, but are very much alive. Got some dead things on them for sure. That guy, that guy. This is our cherry orchard. You can see they're all bent over. That's that UFO upright fruiting offshoot we talked about a little bit. So some of them popped up. I'm gonna have to fix those. Right through there. Someone got a hold of our drip line, knocked that down. So I'll fix that. This looks pretty good. But check this out. Top of this tree is dead as can be. I got a whole nother tree growing down here. To me, looks like a peach tree, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't that look like? Well, I'm gonna just kind of plan it out. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to do some research, see if, you know, potentially peaches come from the same rootstock. And where one died, another one may have grown back out last year. But I mean, to me, I mean, second year growth is usually red. This looks like peach bark down here to me. I'm curious. I don't see fruit buds, so I was curious, like, if I'd get like a fruit bud off it, really be able to tell. But maybe we may just cut that one off this year. It's kind of interesting. But that was another guy. A guy told me, I went to the Great Lakes Expo, and he told me that, you know, apple seeds are different, right? They're not the same as the tree itself because they cross-pollinate. But he said the peach pits are almost identical. He said, so when you start getting peaches, save some of the peach pits and start your own little nursery, because peaches die so much in Michigan because of cold weather. He said, so start your own little nursery of your peaches, grow them up, and as you have peach trees die, just replant your own peaches. So that was kind of interesting, that an apple tree will cross-pollinate and end up with a different seed variety, but a peach will end up being the same, even though I have 5 or 6 different varieties of peaches out there. So I thought that was kind of cool.